Welcome back, everyone.
Hey, this is Wrevample. I'm your host, Mr. Ghost Bunch, and we're talking a little bit about the cities of Sodom and Gamora. Very ancient cities. They're in the book of Genesis. So these ancient cities of Sodom and Gamora, God sends these 10 angels to find 10 righteous people in the cities. And if they can do that, then he won't destroy the cities. And so in the Bible, it doesn't say that he found these 10 people. But I'm creating a different depiction. For the sake of the story, I'm going to say that he found two people who are righteous, one woman and one man. One woman from Sodom and one man from Gamora. And I'm going to say that the bloodline of Sodom and Gamora still existed for at least 2 generations. So we're going to get to that in a second, but let's go over some more history for the city of Sodom and Gamora. The way God destroys these cities is with fire and brimstone, which if you don't know what fire and brimstone is, I'm going to put a little picture in your head. Brimstone is like this kind of like sulfur. It's like a sulfur rock. It's a sulfur hailstone. If you know what a hailstone looks like, it's just like a white sulfur stone, and it burns blue. So if God destroyed these cities from the fire from the sky, there'd be these blue burning rocks that would hit the ground. And the cool part is they have found these ancient like salt mines that look just like cities. And it also says in the Bible that Abraham had a cousin named Lot who lived in one of these cities, and one of the angels tried to warn them to flee and never look back. And Abraham's cousin, or his sister-in-law, I guess, she looks back at the city and she turns into a mound, like not a mound, but she turns into a statue of salt. And so I'm thinking there's all these salt mounds that look just like cities, and the cities, they have these rocks, these sulfur rocks, and people collect them all the time. They're so vast that people can just dig into these salt mounds that look just like cities, and they can dig out a brimstone from the city, and you can burn those things and they turn blue. They're blue fire. So I wish it would describe that in the Bible, that there is blue fire coming from the sky. And so I have watched a lot of documentaries on this fire and brimstone stuff, because I was really into fire and brimstone back in the day. Anyway, so for the sake of our story, we're going to say that he finds these 2 people, and we'll just call them Sodom and Gamora, because those are pretty cute names, Sodom and Gamora. I think that'd be cool names to have back in the days of Genesis. And anyway, so let's talk about the 10 angels. So 2 of the angels, they give their own halos, picked from their own heads. From their own heads, they give Sodom and Gomorrah their halos. I guess, when they do that, it'll protect them from death at least one time in their lifespans. And so those are 2 angels right there. And then 2 more angels, they give away their own armaments. So they take off their armaments and they give Sodom and Gomorrah. I mean, their cities were just destroyed. It's going to protect them from the guilt and the fear. And at the same time, it'll protect their pride. So, I would give them my armor if that protects their pride. So they give them their own armaments to those angels. And then one more angel, he says he'll be their guardian and their teacher. And he teaches their children about the ways of God, and he's going to protect them for the rest of for the next 2 generations. That angel will be there. And then there's going to be 5, so that's 5 angels, and we'll say that 5 more angels, they say they're going to do the same thing the other 5 angels for another 2 generations. And I asked ChatGPT to give me some names just for fun. The first generation, was Eliana? How did I say that? Eliana, Micah, Liora, Caleb, Adina, Ezra, Naomi, Asher, Talia, and Gabriel. That was the first generation. So, I don't know. I had fun just playing around with it, but I'll see you on the next one.
If I get it, I get it, I get all, on you, get it all over my back. I had been gone for such a long time. I was in a cell because I just wasn't thinking. Now it is time for me to get done. I want it done, like I said. I wanted to say something in broken English like you did the dog. That is how I want you to do it. Like the dog, do it like you did the dog.
People ask me all the time, they say, what is that? Is that Chinese? And I have to tell them it is a junk ring, and then they say what about the Chinese, what does that say? And I tell them, can't you see the man jumping? They use it to bind jewelry.
Usually when people are acting really dumb, they don't realize that there is a better reason for this behavior. They usually just feel bad afterwards. Unfortunately, they don't say to themselves that acting that way at the time was too convenient. That makes it sound more spiritual.